Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're diving headfirst into a topic that'll make your heart race. The top 5 most dangerous sports for amateur athletes. You know, those activities some people try once and then decide maybe a desk job isn't so bad after all. We're talking about sports where the margin for error is razor thin, and the consequences can be absolutely brutal. I'm talking broken bones, concussions, the whole 9 yards. We're not talking about your grandma's knitting circle here, folks. If you're the kind of person who likes to live on the edge, who laughs in the face of danger, well, you might want to think twice before trying any of these sports. Seriously, I'm not kidding. But hey, if you're brave enough to stick around, we're going to break down the 5 most insane, adrenaline-pumping, and downright terrifying sports that could turn your weekend warrior fantasies into a trip to the emergency room. So buckle up, hit that like button, and let's get right into it. All right, folks, first up, we've got base jumping. And let me tell you, this ain't your mama's bungee jumping. This is next level crazy. Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, 1,000 feet above the ground, wind whipping past you, and thinking, yeah, this seems like a good idea. Base jumpers, man, they're a different breed. They take the plunge from fixed objects, buildings, antennas, spans, that's bridges for you non-thrill seekers, and free fall for what feels like an eternity before finally deploying their parachute. It's the ultimate test of courage, skill, and maybe a little bit of insanity. And the thing is, there's so much that can go wrong. You've got wind gusts that can slam you into a rock face, parachutes that might not deploy properly, and the ever-present danger of human error. One tiny mistake, one miscalculation, and it's game over. We're talking about a sport with a fatality rate that's enough to make even the most hardcore adrenaline junkie think twice. I mean, these guys are literally risking their lives every time they jump. Now, I know what you're thinking. Joe, these guys must be highly trained professionals, right? And yeah, you're not wrong. Most experienced base jumpers have hundreds, even thousands of jumps under their belts. They train rigorously, studying weather patterns, understanding wind dynamics, and practicing their parachute deployments until it's second nature. But here's the thing, even with all that training, accidents still happen. And for amateur jumpers, the risks are exponentially higher. You're talking about people who might not have the same level of experience, who might not have the same understanding of the risks involved. And that's where things get really scary. Because when you're base jumping, there's no safety net. There's no second chance. You make a mistake and that's it. You're done. So yeah, base jumping is definitely not for the faint of heart. It's a sport that demands respect, caution, and a whole lot of guts. So why is base jumping so much more dangerous for amateurs? I mean, it seems pretty straightforward, right? You jump, you pull a cord, you float down to safety. Well, not so fast. See, base jumping is all about precision. It's about timing, body position, and understanding the environment. You need to know exactly when to deploy your parachute, how to steer your body through the air, and how to deal with unexpected gusts of wind. And that's something that takes years of practice and experience to master. Amateurs often underestimate the complexity of the sport, thinking they can just strap on a parachute and give it a go. But trust me, it's not that simple. It's like anything else in life, really. You wouldn't expect to step into the octagon with Conor McGregor after a few karate classes, would you? Same goes for base jumping. You need to respect the sport, train hard, and understand the risks before you even think about taking the leap. All right, moving on to number 2 on our list. Big wave surfing. We're not talking about your average day at the beach, folks. We're talking about paddling out into the open ocean, staring down walls of water taller than a 5-story building, and laughing in the face of Mother Nature's fury. These surfers, they're like modern-day gladiators, testing their skills and their courage against the raw power of the ocean. They ride these massive waves with a grace and precision that's almost superhuman, making it look effortless even as they're risking their lives with every second. And let me tell you, the ocean is a force to be reckoned with. It's unpredictable, unforgiving, and it doesn't care how many Instagram followers you have. One minute you're riding high on top of the world, and the next minute you're getting pummeled by tons of water, held down in a washing machine of churning white water. Now, I get it. There's a certain allure to big wave surfing. It's raw, it's primal, it's the ultimate test of human endurance. I mean, who hasn't dreamt of paddling into a monster wave, feeling that adrenaline surge as you drop in, the wind screaming in your ears? But here's the thing, big wave surfing is incredibly dangerous, and for amateurs, it can be downright deadly. These waves, they're not messing around. They can break bones, crush ribs, and hold you underwater for what feels like an eternity. And even if you do manage to survive a wipeout, you're still not out of the woods. You've got to contend with strong currents, jagged rocks, and the very real possibility of another massive wave crashing down on you before you can catch your breath. So yeah, big wave surfing is a sport that demands respect. It's not something you just pick up overnight. It takes years of dedication, training, and a healthy dose of fear to even attempt to ride these behemoths. So, what makes big wave surfing so dangerous for amateurs? Well, for starters, experience plays a huge role. Experienced big wave surfers, they spend years honing their skills, learning to read the ocean, understanding how these massive waves break. They know when to paddle, when to hold back, and how to navigate the impact zone. They've also got the physical conditioning and the lung capacity to withstand those hold downs, those moments when you're trapped underwater, wondering if you'll ever see the surface again. Amateurs, on the other hand, they often lack that crucial experience. They underestimate the power of the ocean, they misjudge the waves, and they overestimate their own abilities. And in big wave surfing, those miscalculations can have fatal consequences. It's like anything else, man. You gotta crawl before you can walk before you can run. And in the world of big wave surfing, you gotta learn to surf the small stuff before you even think about tackling the giants. All right, folks, we're diving into the world of bull riding. This is 8 seconds of pure adrenaline and primal energy, 1,000 pounds of angry muscle trying to toss you, and you're hanging on for dear life. You gotta see it to believe it. The sheer power of these animals is insane. They'll do everything to get you off their back, and they usually succeed. But that's what makes it so compelling, right? It's that primal struggle between man and beast. It's insane, dangerous, and absolutely captivating. You might think these bull riders are just adrenaline junkies, right? Just a bunch of crazy cowboys looking for their next fix. But there's more to it than that. It takes a special kind of athlete, a combination of physical and mental toughness. You gotta be strong to hold on to a bucking bull, and agile, quick on your feet. The mental game is crucial. Fearless, focused, blocking out pain. It's almost like a meditation, so in the moment, everything else fades away. Just you and the animal, in a dance of power and survival. It's intense, man, really intense. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is messed up, man. Why would anyone do this to an animal? And you know what? That's a valid point. But here's the thing. These bulls are bred for this. They're treated like kings, man. They got the best food, the best care, and they only work a few minutes a year. And you gotta remember, these animals are powerful. They're unpredictable. They could seriously hurt someone if they weren't handled correctly. So in a way, these bull riders are like their partners in a weird, twisted way. They respect the animal, they understand the risks, and they know that it's a two-way street. It's a dangerous game for both the rider and the bull. But it's a game that's been around for centuries, a testament to our fascination with these powerful creatures. And you know what? There's something beautiful about that, man. That connection between man and beast, that primal struggle that's been going on since the dawn of time. It's raw, it's real, and it's a hell of a lot more entertaining than watching golf. Alright, so we've talked about jumping out of planes, surfing on mountains of water, and holding on to pissed-off bulls. But now, we're underwater. And I'm not talking about your leisurely scuba diving with the fishes. This is cave diving, man. Imagine being in complete darkness, surrounded by water, with only a headlamp to guide you. You're swimming through tunnels, the only way out is the way you came in, and every instinct is screaming at you to get the hell out. That's the allure of cave diving. It's about pushing your limits, facing your fears, and exploring the unknown depths. But here's the thing about caves, man. They don't care about your limits. They don't care about your fears. And they definitely don't care about your Instagram feed. One wrong turn, one equipment malfunction, one moment of panic, and it could all be over. These caves, they're like the ultimate test, man. They'll push you to your absolute edge. And the thing is, you're not just battling the environment, you're battling yourself. Your mind starts playing tricks on you down there. It's like sensory deprivation on steroids. One of the biggest dangers of cave diving is getting lost. It's like being in a maze, but instead of walls, you've got murky water and narrow passages. The water can be so silty that you can't see your hand in front of your face. And even if you drop a line to guide you back, a strong current could sweep it away. Panic sets in when you're lost and disoriented. Your heart races, your breathing gets shallow, and you start making bad decisions. That's why experience and training are crucial. You need to know how to navigate in darkness and stay calm under pressure. Now, we all know the golden rule of diving, never hold your breath. But in cave diving, that rule is amplified tenfold. You see, when you're deep inside a cave, running out of air isn't just an inconvenience, it's a death sentence. You can't just bolt to the surface when you're hundreds of feet into a submerged cave system. You need to carefully manage your air supply, factor in your decompression stops, and always have a backup plan. Imagine this, you're low on air, you're trying to navigate back to the entrance, and your heart is pounding in your chest. You're fighting against the water, against the darkness, against your own body's screaming need for oxygen. It's the ultimate test of your survival instincts. And even if you make it out alive, the experience can leave a mark. Divers talk about nitrogen narcosis, the feeling of getting narked at depth. It messes with your head, man, like being drunk underwater. It's another layer of danger and unpredictability in an already intense situation. So, we've covered some pretty intense sports, right? But this next one, this is for the real daredevils. This is street luge, where the only thing between you and the asphalt is a thin piece of fiberglass. Imagine flying downhill at 70 miles per hour, your body inches from the ground, the wind screaming in your ears. You're basically a human bobsled, except you're racing on city streets instead of ice tracks. There's no cage, no seatbelt, no airbags. It's just you, your board, and your wits. One wrong move, one pebble in the road, one twitch of the steering, and it's game over. And it's not just the speed that'll get you. These guys are navigating hairpin turns, dodging potholes, and praying that some clueless driver doesn't pull out in front of them. It's a sensory overload, man, a constant dance with danger. Street luge is all about pushing the limits of speed and control. It's about that adrenaline rush, that feeling of being on the edge of a knife. It's about testing your reflexes and your nerve against the unforgiving reality of physics. You need balls of steel to even think about hopping on a luge board. These guys are fearless, man. They're wired differently. They crave that feeling of vulnerability, that sense of being completely exposed to the elements. And it's not just about going fast in a straight line. These guys are mastering the art of drafting, tucking behind each other to minimize wind resistance and squeeze out every last bit of speed. It's like a high-stakes game of chicken, played out at breakneck velocity. But here's the thing about speed. It's unforgiving. One small mistake at those speeds can have catastrophic consequences. A slight miscalculation, a patch of gravel, a gust of wind, and it's all over. Now, I'm all about pushing boundaries and facing your fears, but street luge, that's a whole different level of intensity. The risk versus reward ratio is, well, it's pretty skewed towards risk. These athletes, they know the risks. They understand that one wrong move could leave them broken, paralyzed, or even dead. But they do it anyway, driven by a passion that most of us will never understand. The injuries these guys sustain are brutal, man. Broken bones, road rash, concussions, you name it. They've seen it all, and they keep coming back for more. It's a testament to the human spirit, to our relentless desire to push the limits of what's possible. But it's also a stark reminder of the fragility of life, of how quickly things can go wrong when you're living on the edge. So there you have it, folks. The top 5 most dangerous sports for amateur athletes. We've covered it all, from the skies to the caves, from the waves to the pavement. These sports are not for the faint of heart. They're for the adrenaline junkies, the thrill seekers, the ones who live for the rush. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more thrilling content. And let us know in the comments which sport you think is the most dangerous. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next video.